Hello, welcome to The Good, The Bad, the TNA Impact for Impact Wrestling, December 8th, 2011. And this is the go-home show before the Final Resolution pay-per-view. And all in all, they did a pretty good job of building up every single storyline that they had going into the pay-per-view and for any of the matches that they're going in there. Outside of Austin Aries and Kid Cash, which I guess they're just using that as a throw in their match because they aren't putting too much emphasis on the storyline unless they're going to continue that storyline after Sunday's pay-per-view. But all in all, I'll go through, that was one of the bad things. I'll go through another one of the bad things that I thought, and this is mostly just because I still believe that the Jeff Hardy storyline should not be continuing whatsoever after last month's pay-per-view. They are just using this portion of him fighting Jeff Jarrett as a way to get him into the title picture, and I guess that's good for what they were looking for, but I don't think he should have been brought into the title picture so quickly after returning from his problems that he had earlier this year. But they're obviously going that route at this point, and I guess you gotta live with that if you're gonna continue watching it. But honestly, I personally didn't like it. That's my own personal opinion on it. You can like it or dislike it. I really don't care on that aspect. One other quick bad thing. Wait a minute. It was somewhat of a bad thing. The putting Gail Kim in the ring with Tracy Brooks, it didn't seem to serve much of a purpose outside of just filling up a little bit extra time. It's obviously not time for them to let Tracy Brooks take all the frustrations out that she's supposed to be having through her storyline with Karen Jarrett and everything. And honestly, it just it didn't seem like it had fit a purpose for the show to have them two in the ring in a match. This is something that they probably should have been doing further down the road at some point. They should have focused mostly on just Gail Kim and Mickie James. Even a tag match would have been alright here, where involving the two of them would have been better off than what they did in the night with Mickie James versus Madison Rayne and Gail Kim versus Tracy Brooks in the end. So yeah, that was pretty much the only stuff that I figured that was bad about the show. For the most part, the other things I liked was the build-up that they had with the tag team division. It's with the tag team title match. Sorry, I had to clear my throat for a second. With, of course, Pope, D'Angelo Dinero, and Devon, and they're going up against Matt Morgan and Crimson. The promo that they did in the ring was extremely well done, and the only downside to that promo is that you didn't really hear much of Matt Morgan and Crimson talk, and we know at least Matt Morgan can talk well on the mic, so I was kind of expecting a little bit more on that. But the overall promo and the build for even though it was a quick build, but the build that they put in there for the pay-per-view match was extremely well done. Throwing Devon's, not brothers, but Devon's sons in there and continuing that with him and Pope, that was a little nice touch. And obviously they're probably going to do something at the pay-per-view around that route. We'll see where they go with it. I personally ended up liking it. The aspect of Bobby Roode at the beginning coming out there, and he was supposed to apologize to Dixie Carter and instead spits her in the face. It was good for what it was early on. I don't know if they're going to how they're going to continue the feud and keep it fresh and keep it new, because it is a storyline that many of us seen before. That champion versus the authority figure, it's kind of been overdone a little bit, but we'll see if they can continue to make it seem like it's a little bit new, something fresh in the upcoming weeks, because obviously they're going to be doing this thing with Rude and Sting for a little while. And we'll see where they go. Hopefully it'll turn out to be really good. Last night's interaction with them was really good. So what I can say is that was a good segment, and hopefully they can build into the future on future storylines. The promo between Kurt Angle and James Storm was, they did an amazing job on that promo. Just building themselves into their match for the pay-per-view. I'm losing my words here for a second. But the two of them on the mic, it seemed to flow perfectly between the two. It seemed like they've been working together for years already before last night's promo and in the promos beforehand. So obviously the two of them have great mic skills. They have great in-ring skills as well. So hopefully we'll be seeing not just from this good build-up that they have, but we'll have a really good match at the pay-per-view than what you had a few months, or about a month and a half ago, with their Impact match. So, sorry. So all in all, on that aspect, that was all really good stuff. Of course, they also of course had good build-up with AJ Styles and Bobby Roode going into the pay-per-view match, with the tag match, the backstage segments. All of it seemed to really work out really well between the two of them. So I have that good feeling that, of course, those guys can talk on the mic as well. They've been building up everything properly going into this, going into the Iron Man match, and obviously the in-ring action for the matches last night was actually extremely well done. There was one little tidbit. I'm not sure if they have a match for the pay-per-view that I haven't gotten into. The whole Abyss Immortal trying to bring Abyss back in, and honestly, it was pretty good what they were trying to do. They came out there. You had a decent match between Abyss and Samoa Joe. Steiner and Bubba Ray come out, help them, and it's like they're trying to get him back in the world. They're going to help him with matches. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And instead, he just black hole slams Scott Steiner. That worked out really well for me. They're obviously keeping this monster gimmick going with Abyss. And sorry, my throat's not in the best of shape at this point, so I had to keep swallowing stuff. I had to keep whatever. I just got to keep clearing my throat. But honestly, hopefully they'll be going somewhere really well with Abyss and the Immortal storyline. The other tidbit that I have to really get into, I don't have to, but I will, the Garrett Jarrett and Gunner storyline. It's interesting to see, because most of the times when you see a father figure and the father and the son in the show, the father is always trying to protect the son in some way. This is the complete opposite, with Eric Bischoff trying to punish Garrett Bischoff. Of course, they had a match with Gunner and Garrett again, and Garrett ends out winning by a quick roll-up. So after the match, the beatdown's continuing. He wants to pile drive him on the floor. You see Eric Bischoff coming out there, maybe trying to be the compassionate father, and then instead of doing that, he rips off the padding and allows Gunner to pile drive him into the floor. Honestly, I actually like that. It's a nice little twist to the storyline, because every time you seem to have a father and the son be in the same arena, it's always the compassionate father figure trying to help out his son, and this is just the complete opposite. It's something. It seems like it's something a little bit more new, a little bit more fresh, and it seems to be working at this point in time. I'm still not too high on Garrett Bischoff yet, because you haven't really seen too much of him, but the storyline itself seems to be working. All in all, it seems to be this show right before the pay-per-view was a pretty good show. They had a few down points that I pointed out at the beginning, and they had a lot of really good stuff in building into the pay-per-view matches for this Sunday. This is the good, the bad, the TNA Impact. I thank you guys for watching.